So you want to improve in your desired game and decide to take your aim to the next level? Perfect! Because in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how to get started in Kovaaks specifically. We'll go through my personal settings first, so you don't get overwhelmed when you launch it the first time. And then I'll break down which skills and plays are best for what games. I'll focus on today is Valorant, CS, Apex, and the finals. By the end, you'll not only know what to practice, but also why these skills matter in each game. So let's get into it. First off, when you first load up Kovaaks, honestly, it looks really bad, like old school bad. But don't worry though, the power is in the engine, not in the UI. The first thing I recommend is to just copy paste my settings, which I'll put up on the screen right now. I'm going through everything right here. The only thing you need to be concerned about is the sensitivity, field of view, crosshair and visuals, and that's about it. Maybe get the high score sometimes on, sometimes off, and that's about it. Otherwise, just follow what I'm doing right now on my video. Once you have this set, you're ready to aim train. And trust me, your aim training will feel so much more different than the game you're training. So it won't transfer properly if you don't put in the same field of view, for example, and such. The first game we're gonna talk about is Valorant. Valorant is all about precision and micro adjustments. Time to kill is insanely fast, and most fights are tight duels around corners or choke points. The main aim skills here are flicking, that means snapping your crosshair to heads, static clicking, lining up a perfect one tap, and switching, instantly transitioning between enemies without overshooting. This can also go to abilities such as Keiko's Flash or Sky's Dog. Notice something's missing? It is tracking. You almost never need raw tracking in Valorant since spraying is unreliable. You're mostly just gonna burst fire or tapping. So here are some plays I would recommend for Valorant in Kovaaks. I'll throw it up on the screen right now. I would say grind these regularly and your headshots will become way more consistent in Valorant. And also in Valorant, you need a bit higher sensitivity than the next game we're gonna go into. The next game is Counter-Strike. It's very similar in Valorant in terms of aiming style, both rewarding precision, but you need good crosshair placement, so you also need a lot of time to play the actual game when you play Counter-Strike or Valorant. The difference is that in CS, it's mostly horizontal aiming. That means in Valorant, they're more vertical thanks to agents with mobility, but CS fights usually happen flat across lanes and choke points. So you're basically reuse the same Valorant scenarios, but with a twist. I would put up these right here. These playlists is basically the same thing, but focus on the horizontal one and not the vertical, in my opinion. While in CS, I would say you need to play with a lower sensitivity than that you need in Valorant. Since in Valorant, there are way more flicks, there are way more things that you need to flick onto. The next up is Apex. Now, Apex is a completely different beast compared to CS or Valorant, because in Apex you need versatility. You'll need tracking for following enemies with SMGs as they slide, climb, or wall bounce. You need switching, handling multiple targets when squads completely third party you. And you need clicking, still relevant for some guns like the Wingman or Kraber and so on, or 30-30. The biggest focus here is tracking. Apex movement is wild. You need to keep your aim steady on fast moving targets. Another tip, you might want to bump your sensitivity slightly higher than you use in Valorant, since Apex is way faster paced and you kind of need a higher sense when you have multiple people jumping in front of you. These are some of the players that I would do, and I would also implement the Visco's benchmark. She put up a crazy good benchmarks which is structured that combine tracking, switching, and precision. If you only train clicking here, you will get destroyed. Apex requires balance with tracking as your foundation. And lastly, the game I enjoy a lot at the time, the finals. The finals is very similar to Apex in aim style, but it's just slower paced. So here you still need tracking and switching, especially against light classes, but movement isn't as extreme as Apex. You'll need a little more time to log on. So I would say that you need a slightly lower sensitivity here than you need in Apex, for example. If you like snipers and semi-auto rifles, you can add in some click scenarios as well. Here are my recommendations as well. It's kind of like the same as Apex, basically the same thing. So yeah, I would say think of the finals as Apex Light. It's the same skills, just a touch less chaotic when it comes to duels, but obviously there's buildings falling apart and so on, so you need to adjust your aim style and you need to adjust movement and such way more. So overall, in the big picture, here's my takeaway. Each game demands different aim skills, but no single style is good enough on its own. If you're only good at clicking, your tracking will hold you back. If you only practice tracking, you'll miss flick headshots. If you only do switching, you lack consistency. The key is to master the aim styles most relevant to your main game, while still building the others so you never get caught off guard. Valorant CS, focus on clicking and micro adjustments. Apex and the finals, build tracking and switching as your foundation. Oh well, that'll be it for me. I hope this breakdown helps you get started with Kovaaks and understand exactly how to train for your favorite game. If this video helped you out, make sure to like, subscribe, and maybe share it with a friend who wants to improve too. It really means the world to me, and it helps me keep making more guys like this. Good luck and happy aiming out there.